Hey y'all. So I wanted to start off with this coaching thing that I started has taken me to places and opening up doors I did not want to open up to. And I think I want to do this series this week on how our um, what's wrapped up in our beauty. And I don't know how to word it to say, but I have been, and you guys constantly hear me talk about it, but it's actually, I'm realizing that I'm going to, or I'm in my, things have shifted because I was like, I always ask God, like, how am I supposed to serve my sisters? And y'all know that's a really big deal for me. And I never get into the mindset of, okay, how can I make money off of this or whatever. I literally, this arena, this platform for me is it heals me as well. It's like me helping my sisters heal and me heal as well. Well, going into the coaching arena and you're dealing with so many clients from different parts of the world, just from everywhere, you don't even realize how much women are in need of just simple self-care, and they just want to be taught how to love themselves and stuff. And one of the things I've realized is that I have to become vulnerable in those sessions with women because they're being vulnerable with me. And one of the things I find even with my friends is that when y'all ever see something happen even on TV or something crazy, you're like, what made that person get to that place? And everybody be like, well, it don't matter. She just raggedy, or they just whatever. But I'm not that way. I've always been a person that always say, well, where that came from? Because it's not just something that just happened. It's like saying when you see a kid that's 5 years old that's saying racist remarks, there's no way that that kid just made that up. It had to come from the home. It's the same thing with everything. And I never understood why we never want to understand why we are doing the things we're doing and the way we're moving, right? And so one of the things that we were talking about, and this is not going to be a long video, I was talking about the fact of the hairstyles. We were talking about hairstyles and because a lot of women, most of the women they want to wear their regular hair. They don't want to wear the extensions and the weaves. They want to wear them, but they don't want to wear them as much as they were. So they're transitioning over. And now we're at the point where we're like, well, what kind of hairstyles do you want? And we've gotten down, they've locked down their regimen, they're locked down their the healthcare, they understand the hair, everything, which is beautiful. And I want to say this. I know a lot of you are like, oh, child coaching, will you just tell us what kind of shampoo and all that? No, 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 no. This coaching is intense because it forces you to look at yourself. When you're dealing with a part of you that you have been hiding for so long, it makes you want to deal. You have no choice but to deal with yourself because now you start asking yourself questions. And then you start realizing things. Like for me, I realized even in my sessions how much I abandoned myself, right? And then I come out in these relationships, whether it's friendships or whatever, where I've abandoned people because of that foundation, right? And I'm not one of those women that I'm not a victim person. I hate the victim role. I really, really do. There's certain areas in my life that I have been a victim, but I'm not a person that like to live through that 1975, this happened to me. I'm not that girl. But I remembered I was talking to a young lady and she kept doing this hairstyle over her face, and I'm like, can you lift that up? And then she lifted it up. I'm like, man, you're beautiful. And she was like, I am? And I was like, yeah. I was like, why do you hide your face like that? Every time I saw her in each session, she was hiding her face, and she was like, I just don't think I'm beautiful. And I said, why? And that person had to break down and explain why. And it was really, really one of those moments where I had to be vulnerable with her. And I was like, huh. So then I kind of connected the two, which is really crazy. I know y'all might be like, Lee, you reaching. But I was like, so we have hiding hairstyles. Because I remember as a kid, I had been violated, right? I think I was about 5, by a very, very close family member. And I remember it wasn't anything very like, you know, and I hate saying that because it like diminishes what happened, but it wasn't like I was penetrated or anything, but I had been violated, right? And what would happen is when I would go to school, that person, that family member would go to school and would say, when I would have food or anything, they'd be like, if you don't give me none, I'm going to tell everybody what you let me do to you. And I realized in that time, I dealt with the whole anxiety. So I was like 6 years old, 7 years old, having anxiety and panic attacks. So every time it was time to walk home from school, this is a story, this is my story. Every time it was time to walk home from school and we would get snacks at the end of school, that family member would be like, oh, give me some of your snack, or I'm gonna tell everybody. Or maybe I don't have a snack and they're joking around with their friends and they'll look over at me like I'm gonna tell them. So I live with that torment, and I know it's like, wait, what? Yes. So I remembered I would be in anxiety. Looking back on it, you don't know what it is, you're a kid. But I had so much anxiety behind that situation. Long story short, that person, that family member actually did say it, but it flipped on them because they were like, man, you did that to her? You know what I mean? Like, that's your family. And it made him look bad. So he never repeated it again. But it was a shame that came over me when that happened. And so the kids would like necessarily bully me, pick on me because he said that. So now it wasn't just him, it was both of us being bullied and picked on something that he thought was okay. Somebody had to do that to him for him to do the things that he did. And I'm being vulnerable, and I'm sharing this with you because a lot of things that have happened to us in our foundation, you know, that's the foundation. That those things happened to me, I was 4 or 5 years old. But I realized that when I come into relationships, it was certain parts of me that I hid. Even my hairstyles. At the time, I would get my hair was long, so I have a bang in the front, and I have this pulled back, right? I had the ponytail and the bang thing. But I would do that same thing that the girl did because it was a way of me hiding myself. Like, even if I was talking to someone, I know this sounds so crazy, even if I was talking to someone, they couldn't see all of me. And then as time went on, I was like, man, when I started getting into a relationship where people really actually liked me as a human being, as a person, I really couldn't connect. Why? Because I was still in that mindset of how do you love me, or how do you care? I didn't even show you everything about me because I'm hiding. That's some stuff. Now, I need you guys to think about that. I'm not going to go on this long thing, but all this week and probably next week, we're going to deal with the whys, all right? And how that it has attached in your beauty. And you don't even realize it, you know. A lot of us, we think that connecting ourselves to titles means something. So we start living out this title, I'm a boss chick, or I never forget, I went to Noelle, what's her name, Brittany Noel's thing, and the lady, she asked the lady, who are you? And the lady was like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. She was always thinking, but she was like, no, who are you? You know, because we'll take on those titles and say, that's who I am. And we are living, a lot of us, I'm talking to Black women, we are living in a state of survival mode. We are living in relationships that we are not really our true selves. And it shows with your aesthetics. I know that sounds crazy, whether it's in your clothing, whether it's in your hair, whether it's in your skin, your makeup, how you take care of yourself is deeper than what you think it is. And I love to have these coaching sessions because it doesn't just help me, it helps that person. And to see them take that off of them, be like, oh, you don't have to carry that weight. You went through it. You know what I mean? You forgave yourself. You forgive that person, right? But you went through it. Take that off. That's hindering you from really experiencing the real love that you need, that we need as women. It's not just our purpose. And I'm saying real love, not just with a man. I'm talking about in your relationship with your friends, being able to have a genuine, great friendship. A lot of us can't be that. A lot of us are not great friends. I know I wasn't a great friend. Trust me, it shows now. But those reasons are behind a lot of the foundation that we laid and we live by today. And so it shows in, I don't really care about my hair. I don't really care about this. Some of us, I had a good friend, and I'm going to talk about that later on. Gorgeous. I mean, body T. Everything perfect about her. But she would always hide herself because she went through being violated. She hated. A lot of you don't like for men to look at you because of the past that you had. And so you carry that even when you do finally allow a man in, you carry that into that relationship because, and that man don't even understand why you're so protective and guarded, but it's you carrying that from way back. So we have to heal. The power is in our healing that will allow us to live out our purpose in life and will allow us to really embrace our natural beauty. And we won't be looking for this particular client that I have. She was looking for all kind of, she told me she has 62 wigs that she puts on to hide that one situation, that one black dot in her life. She's been doing that for the past 27 years. Now, what are you hiding? So we're going to get into it, guys, this week. I pray that this video helps you. If you are interested in coaching, it is hair coaching. It is about restoring your hair, having healthy hair. I'm going to add the link. I have the link there where you can book. You can answer some of the questions, fill out the forms on there, and we can move forward that way. But it's a lot of us, and I was like, man, these sessions are helping me really like just be. And it's hard. Those are hard conversations, but we got to have them in order to get past why we're making the decisions not to care for ourselves, our hair, our lives, our relationships, why we come into relationships the way we are. All of those things tie in. So I pray, like I said, this video helps you. Thank you guys for sharing coming to this community. Go ahead and share some things you want to share. But I think Ask a Licensed Cosmetologist is going to a whole nother level, guys. I pray you stay with me on the ride and the journey. See you next video. Bye.